kind of, beating yourself up, thinking, I'm not good enough. And it's frustrating because the people that are succeeding are the people that are able to quash that voice. And believe in what they're doing. So I wish that confidence had come sooner.
Oh, I think you and I are quite similar in that we are giving other people that confidence.
Yes.
No, I mean, I'm a great believer in boosting other people up and giving them, just celebrating what they're doing. I think you're quite similar that way.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I agree. And I think, and I'm very transparent, and I think there are a lot of people out there who are very much like, you can have it all, and and that's not necessarily true. I think you have to be really realistic about what you can achieve, especially if you've got kids and stuff like that, and otherwise you're just constantly feeling disappointed. And I just think that if I'm very open about my own experiences, that will help other people who are having self-doubt and stuff like that they realize that we all suffer from these things. And I think it's really important to be honest about it and not pretend that everything's perfect.
This is why I invited you on my podcast, because I knew you'd say something golden like that.
Thank you. But it's like, when you become a parent as well, you meet these mums at playgroups who the kids are sleeping through the night. They wean perfectly. They potty train within 2 weeks. It's all perfect. And it makes you feel absolutely crap.
Yeah.
And I really don't think it helps anyone. And I think, really when you dig into those other people as well, they're not happy. They're just saying that because they think they have to give off this, perfection. And I just think it's really important to be open with each other.
Yeah, I agree. What ways do you use social media to market your business, Erin?
Social media is massive for me, and it always has been, to be honest. I think, and I'm completely self-taught. When I was doing the jewellery, that's when I started learning about using social media. And then, Pitter Patter, especially the whole thing of promoting baby and toddler classes, that was really heavily on social media. And now with making Mumpreneurs, my main customer database is on, or my main customer platform, is Facebook.
Yeah.
And I am on the other platforms as well, but Facebook is so great for community. So,
yes.
That's where my groups are. I think with social media, it's all about engagement.
Yeah.
So it's, sharing really valuable content, also timely and topical, and getting people to engage with your posts and start discussions, and kind of being the person that starts those discussions. And also it's so important to always reply to people as much as you can, because there's no point just putting something out there and people commenting and then you not commenting back, because it's a conversation, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that actually that is a really good point, because I think that's something that a lot of people miss out on. So they'll put a post up and they'll ask a question and people will reply and they think, oh, that's really great, I got loads of replies there, but they forget to go back and reply back to the people.
Yes. Yeah. And it's so important, because if you were having a conversation in a room with a group of people, it's totally natural that you would reply to them and say, oh yeah, that's a good idea, blah blah blah. So I use social media so much I can't even really think. It is part of my everyday life and business. It's all intermingled.
Yeah, no, I'm exactly the same. And do you have one child, Erin?
I've got two boys.
Yeah, and how does that work in terms of running your own business?
Well, it's been amazing this last year because my youngest started school in September. So
revolutionary, isn't it?
Oh my goodness, absolutely amazing. So and absolutely, for those of you who have still got younger kids and you're holding on to that school thing, it really does. It has made such a huge difference to my business to have that time, that dedicated time. 6 hours goes incredibly quickly though. But yeah, so before that, it was really about learning to work in small chunks.
Yes.
And trying to be really organized with my to-do list and things like that. And I'm terrible at working in the evenings. I'm so exhausted. I mean, I'd quite happily go to bed at 8:30 every night if I could. So my brain doesn't work. So, I've got friends who wake up at like 5:30, 6 and work before the kids are awake. Well, my kids are awake before 6 o'clock, so I can never do that.
Yeah.
So I think it really is about kind of, finding those blocks of time and actually trying to be the most productive you can. So already have in mind what you need to do, so that when that time slot comes up, you can just do it. But it is so hard. I'm not going to say it's easy. I mean, I think that it's different for everyone because it depends on whether you've got any childcare options or whether you've got family to help. But, I think that kind of this constant picking things up and putting them down is incredibly hard. And that's why you need to be so realistic about what you're actually going to achieve in a time frame.
Yes, no, I agree completely with that. And I definitely noticed a difference when my youngest started school as well, because you know where they are during that specific time. And when I first started my business, I did a lot of work in the evenings, and I'd be quite like you. I mean, at 8:30 at night, my brain is just turned to mush.
Yeah.
So I'm really lucky in that now I've got to a place where I don't have to do that anymore. Now saying that, of course, last night I was sitting with my laptop on my knee at 8 o'clock because we were away at the weekend, and I knew I had to get stuff done for today. But that's more of a rarity these days than it used to be, like quite commonplace. But my kids also now sleep in till 7, which is amazing.
Oh, lovely. I'm getting there. We're getting there. The other thing I want to say that I think is really, really important, because I know this is something that people suffer from a lot, is the whole mum guilt. And, I just think it's so important for you to try and let that go, because it just eats you up. And the amount of mums in business that I've spoken to who are just constantly feeling guilty that they're not, not there for their kids. And I think, this is where working for yourself, it's up to you to define your schedule. And you do have the power to do that. I know, and it's difficult if you've got clients that you're working for and that kind of thing. But really take some time to think about what's important to you. Two times a week. Do you want to be there for pickup, and do you want to have an hour with the kids after school to take them to the park? But you decide what it is that you want to do, and then really try and stick to it, because it just doesn't work if you're constantly feeling guilty about the kids. And I think also, that just to remember that not only are you a great role model by, working and showing them that, you can achieve amazing things, but you're actually physically there. I think, I know that we're obviously distracted by smartphones and stuff like that, but still, if you're around at home, you might have other stuff going on in your head, but you are there.
Yes.
Which, for many of us, going back to a corporate job, or working full time and not getting back until bedtime, that's a whole different challenge. So, get rid of the guilt, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. So what piece of advice would you give to other women who are thinking about starting their own businesses?
I would say definitely go for it. I think that I love the quote, it's better to have a life of oh wells than what ifs. Don't be afraid of failure. I think, it's definitely worth thinking through what it is you're going to do. Is it viable? But then if you realize after a year or something that it's really not working, it's not making enough money, it's not making you happy, it's just causing more stress, don't be afraid to call time, really. And I think, that's something that so many people are terrified of, and then they just end up doing. I just don't think that you can really succeed in business doing something that you're not 100% passionate about. No,
I agree, and you do see people who struggle on, and they're really stressed and they're not really making any money. And I do sometimes think entrepreneurship is not for everybody.
No,
if you could go and get a job working in your local supermarket for 4.5 hours a day, and you weren't stressed and you're picking your kids up from school, maybe that's a better option for you.
Yeah.
This is not for everyone. I love it. Like, I do love it. But, it's not for everybody. And what I hate to see is someone getting themselves in such a stress that they're just really upset and stressed out all the time. And then you've got to think, well, actually, are you just throwing good money after bad,
Absolutely. And I think I love the it's not a quote, but it's about failure, and it's that failure stands for first attempt in learning.
Yes.
And for me, that is so true, and I just think, it's fear that stops most people. And I think you just need to think, look, try it and see how it goes. But like you say, if it's not working for you, just don't flog a dead horse. Just move on and do something new.
Yes, brilliant. Okay, Erin, thank you so much. It's been I knew it would be lovely talking to you. If somebody wants to find out more about you online, where do they go?
makingmumpreneurs.com. Also, I have the Coon Online Members Club as well, which is where we have video masterclasses, resident experts, member calls. So it's basically supporting you with your business from the comfort of your own home. So do check that out as well. And I'm also on Facebook, Making Mumpreneurs Club, Twitter, Erin Thomas Wong, and Instagram, Erin Thomas Wong.
Brilliant. I'm going to go check you out on Instagram right away. Thank you so much, Erin.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Social Bee podcast. Come and join us over at www.socialbeeni.com and let's start creating a buzz about your business. And if you like what you hear, please pop over to iTunes and leave me a review. I'd really appreciate it. See you next time.